So basically this is what floor 100 looks like. It's taken me not quite 2 hours to get here, but things are slowing down considerably as we're moving on. I couldn't even imagine how slow it's going to be at like floor 500. I've got so many droids. This is just great. Well, here's one I've been putting off for a long time already. But your mom should be excited because we're going deep into Void Biome. So go ahead and subscribe. Keep your mom happy. The reason I have been putting this off is that it's really time consuming. And once you start, you can't stop until you're done. So it could conceivably be 6, 7, 8 hours of just going through the Void Biome. I don't have enough time to go and get a drink, take a break, do anything. I'm just committed. But I'm going for it now. Also, there were a lot of guesses of how many droids I had. People said they counted. I'm not sure if anyone got it right. But we do have a total of 403 droids in case you were wondering. But currently, they're taking up a little bit more of the screen than I would like. Luckily, I do have a solution for that. I can make the droids extra tiny. They still take up a lot of space, but they take up a lot less than they did before, and at least now when I move, I can actually see myself. The next thing I need to do to get ready is see how many EMP grenades I have. We have 4,000. That should be lots. And at least I really hope it is, because they're very expensive to make. They take 1 bomb and 1 electronic each. And I just need those in case any monsters spawn off the map. Apparently, those are the only way to kill monsters off the map. So in case I get to level, I don't know, say 88 or something and a monster spawns off the map, I won't be hopelessly boned. Someone also suggested I put a bunch of my items in the vault because if my inventory gets full, apparently the game slows down, something like that. I'm not really sure. We're going to do it anyway. I'm going to put most of my stuff in here. You know what? I'm just going to do what I normally do and make way too many of anything. That way everything's just right out of my way. I do not want this filling back up again. And that actually works out pretty nicely because now on my hotbar, all I have is the landfill and the healing meat, both of which I need to be accessible. And the final step of this process is seeing where the leaderboard currently sits at. I'm just going to sit here and let the time run out. It's going to tell me what the furthest anyone has gone is, and we're going to try and beat that. While I'm in here, I'm going to be using either my ice rod or my fire rod to clear everything out. The ice rod is a little bit faster, but it does leave some spaces in its attack. The fire rod is a little more thorough, but it's slower. Do I seriously have almost 2 minutes left? This is going to be the longest night of my life. Wow, okay, people have been stepping up their games. I Love DF managed to get all the way to level 126. Well done. Though what I originally thought was going to be a long night might have just turned into an incredibly long night. 436 might actually be even a little bit beyond what I'm capable of. But we're going to go for it. Last time I checked that, I think the farthest down was level 125, 130, somewhere in that neighborhood, so they've definitely stepped it up. To get us rolling, I'm going to see if we can get the buff for quicker movement. Oh, perfect. First try. Move twice as fast. That's just to help us get through the first 10 levels. And I am going to do this all the way zoomed out. It just makes it a lot quicker and easier to see. Alright, I found my portals already tucked in one of my vaults. Give me one of those, and then we're going to be off. Put that there, and I'm fully committed at this point. The next 6 hours, or whatever it's going to be, are committed to doing just this, running up and down, back and forth, defeating every enemy I see. Unless, of course, I've forgotten of my EMP grenades behind, so good thing I only got 1 level in before I realized that. This is why I can't have nice things. Restarting my shrine thing. 3 minutes and 44 seconds on the clock. Let's do that again with the EMP grenades. There it is. The first level took me almost no time at all. We still have 3:30 left on the clock, but they're going to get much harder and slower. I'd like to note the game is actually running a lot better than it was last time I played. Apparently that is because my inventory isn't full. Very happy about that. Whatever makes this process fastest. One thing that I'm noticing may be an issue with the smaller droids is they don't have as big of a range. The bigger droids would take up more of the screen and therefore get enemies that are further away, like that little one there. I think the bigger regular sized droids would have killed him. When they're small like this, I've got to walk myself a lot closer to them, I think. And that might not seem like a big deal, but over the course of 500 floors, that's going to be a lot. Starting to run into our first bosses, the game is slowing down just a touch, but not enough that it's going to bother me too much. Starting to run into the giant ice ghosts on level 10. I'm only on level 10? That's the most heartbreaking thing I've ever seen. I'm already so bored that I don't know what to do with myself. Only another like 490 floors to go. Level whatever this is took me just over 30 seconds, so let's say for now they take only 30 seconds to do. Well, even to do 100 floors therefore would take 3,000 seconds. Divide that by 60, that's how many minutes it's going to take. 50 minutes. 50 minutes per 100 floors, which is actually quicker than I thought, but these are going to slow down quite a bit. They take 30 seconds now, they'll take longer soon. Just saw the boss line for the first time on whatever floor this is, between 15 and 20 probably, so that's a pretty exciting change of scenery for me. And I suppose probably the last one we're gonna have. There's floor 17. Oh, and the Skeleton King, he's here too, so we did have one more change of scenery. Happy surprise! And that should be all the bosses we're conceivably gonna get. We're just gonna start seeing more and more of them as we go. Starting to get some frame rate drops. I saw it drop down all the way to 43 there. It was kind of cool to see everything in slow motion for a second. Then I realized everything's going in slow motion, and that means it's gonna take even longer. Starting to get to that fun little part where enemies are spawning in weird little corners, and there's so many of them that sometimes they get missed. So I'll clear out one area of a map, another area of a map, and another area of a map, and then have to go back and cover those areas again because I missed one stupid enemy. We're starting to get to that red orb section of the levels where I could actually die at any point if enough of those hit me at once. As long as I'm paying attention and firing my things all at the same time, I should be able to heal through it. But, you know, that's always something to consider, so that's fun. And here's level 50. So interestingly, we could be about 1/10 of the way there if we go all the way to level 500, which feels like a pretty big if at this point because this is taking a long time to do and any number of things could go wrong along the way. I could die, my computer could crash, my power could go out, I could die. And I won't lie to you, it's not going to be super fun sitting here doing this holding my finger on the mouse button for the next 6 hours. Level 75 already, it's only been well over an hour. What a rush. The most annoying part of all this, legitimately, is that I keep clicking off the screen. Forager doesn't want to sit properly in full screen, and I lose track of my cursor and all the mess, so I keep clicking off onto other things. Floor 80-ish, and the frame rates are dropping, went all the way to 20 on that one. So that's interesting. Didn't expect it to go so low so quickly. Correction, we're actually closer to floor 90, but the frame rates definitely drop into the 20s, at least at first. Starting to get pretty hard to see my cursor amongst everything going on. I think we hit a new low. I saw 16 frames per second. There's 27. This is floor 93, 94, somewhere in there. I lose track because it's all kind of the same after a while. There's level 100. Look at how much fun we're having. Look at all the stuff coming in. 27 frames per second. Why am I not shooting? Oh, I am. It's just very slow. Still not sure we're getting enough of the pink dots on screen, but I'm sure that will only improve with time as well. So basically this is what floor 100 looks like. It's taken me not quite 2 hours to get here, but things are slowing down considerably as we're moving on. I couldn't even imagine how slow it's going to be at like floor 500. But we'll play through floor 100 and see how long it takes us to finish it, and that'll give you guys some frame of reference. Because the first few floors took 15 seconds, 20 seconds maybe. Plus, the more crowded these floors get, the more I click off onto the other monitors, and that is absolutely driving me nuts. The floor is done. We have 2:45 left on the clock. I did a bit of screwing around because I'm me, so you can see it's slowing down a little bit. But even at an extra 15 seconds of floor, that's going to add up to many, many minutes and potentially even hours over the course of all this. We just hit 3 frames per second. I actually thought my game was crashing and got really worried about it. But 3 frames per second, so if that's any indication of what's to come, this is going to be a slow process. Now to add another fun little wrinkle to this process, every once in a while my movement just stops, like right there. I was holding the down key that entire time. My character, he just stalls out, doesn't want to move for a little while, so that's kind of getting annoying. Has anyone seen my cursor? If you see it, let me know. Here we are on floor 124, the frame rate is pretty consistently in the red zone. That's making me question the validity of those people who made it to floor 400 and something. Because as you can see, it's getting pretty slow already, so imagine it in 300 floors from now. Is that possible? Maybe without the droids, the game would be running a lot faster, but with the droids, this all seems to go a lot easier for me. Things are getting pretty slow. I have no idea what floor this is, but very, very slow. Getting close to floor 150 and things are going very, very slow for a very long time. Even at the times that I'm not even shooting, it's still slowing down quite a bit at times, depending on how many enemies are on the screen. I think 400 are spawning on every level at this point, so combine that with my 400 droids and the game's probably working a lot harder than it wants to be. Okay, I was wrong. We start out with about 300 enemies on the floor, but they can spawn more. Look at all those pink orbs of damage. If I wasn't dodging most of these, I would be dead in an instant. Now come all the beats to spawn even more. Yep, I can lose a whole row of hearts in an instant, even dodging most of them. For 144, it just started at 10 frames per second. I wasn't even shooting, nothing was even moving. It just gave me 10 frames per second. We might be hitting a new record. I saw 7 frames per second. Floor 150. Many hours after I've started, and I've finally reached a conclusion. I can't do this. It can't be done. Not with the way I'm doing it. I figured if I was to sit here for 6, 8, even 10 hours, I would be able to break the record. I didn't expect people to have gone as far as they did, and I didn't expect the game to slow down this much. For me to actually hit level 500 would take me so long that I just don't think I could physically sit here long enough. And I think that's probably because of the droids. I brought too many of them with me, it's slowing the game down, and it's slowing the progress down too much. Maybe if I came with less droids, even 100 is probably overkill, maybe 50. I'm not sure how other people did it, but as it is, I don't think I can really go any further than this. There's no point. It's going to end up taking me another 4 hours to reach level 200. That is, if I can even reach level 200, and even if I do, then it's only 200. I still have to go past 400 to be able to beat the current record. It's all very sad, because once again, I put all this time and effort into trying to do it, only to not do it. But on the bright side, I've clicked off the monitor so many times that I've completely reorganized my desktop. So this is going to be it. Floor 151, I believe we're on. Yes, 151, that's going to be it. I'm going to clear out the enemies around me real quick just for fun, and then I'm going to let the timer run out, and we'll see where that leaves us on the leaderboard. Look at all those circles. I can still tank my way through it, but only barely. So all my timing has probably been off too. I said things were taking a minute, down to 2:45 left, but the timer actually slows down with the game, so this was taking longer than I thought. And look at the number of enemies just climbing and climbing. We're up to 1,200 enemies. We were just at 1,000 a minute ago. A minute and 20 left. I did fire a few things off to get some healing, but we're up to almost 2,000 enemies on the map now. The final 20 seconds. We're running at a constant 40 frames per second without me doing anything. We are up to 2,600 enemies, and they are growing. That's why I couldn't go any further with this. It just would have been too slow to bother. I think that's going to leave us pretty firmly on the leaderboard though. Probably somewhere right in the middle, around 5 I believe. I don't really remember the scores. I just remember the top score was 400 and something. Alright, that puts us right at number 6. 151, 157. If I had got 180, that would have left me in 3rd place. I could have gone to that. Still would have taken forever, but if I don't hit number 1, I just don't want to bother.